This is the issue that is before us now, that every one of us need to be paying attention to. It is a very challenging time, but in this time of challenges, we must remain strong. The question of who infiltrated IPOB is not far-fetched. It's a question that many of us can answer, whether right or wrong. Many of us have different answers on who infiltrated IPOB. Whatever your answer may be, every one of us know where the infiltration is coming from. It is coming from the federal government of Nigeria, backed up by the foreign interests of the British and the rest of them. It is no longer history that the only force today that is standing against the oppression of the masses in Nigeria, the only force that will want to make a credible change in how things are done is the IPOB. IPOB have been on this course for almost 2 decades. They have tried everything they can to infiltrate the IPOB, but it has always proved abortive. They have tried several times to take over the structure of IPOB, to introduce one thing or the other. It has never worked for them. They never give up. They continue to try. The federal government of Nigeria has been trying right, left, and center to infiltrate the IPOB. Even while Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was outside, they were doing a lot of work. They have tried to walk through the traditional rulers in Igbo land. They could not succeed. They have tried to walk through the Ohanese Ndohin and Dam. They could not succeed. They tried to walk through the politicians, the governors, the senators, to penetrate into the IPOB. They could not succeed. Some of them will come and claim to be sympathizers of IPOB. Some of them will come and claim to be part of the IPOB, but in the actual sense, they are just looking for a loophole for them to do damages. And we have seen them on several occasions. There was one of them that put signature when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu released in 2015-16. After Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, was arrested in 2015, and I think 16-17 he was released. A lawmaker signed for his release, and from that moment we see the role the lawmaker was playing, and many of us applauded him and we appreciated him for what he has done. And all through the time he pretended to be a sympathizer of the struggle, and the Biafrans gave him all the support until it became clear that he has a different agenda. He went for governorship and he failed. After the kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he became a voice against the Biafrans. In fact, he was the one that stood in the Senate and was calling for the arrest of Mazi Simon Ekpa. He was part of those that raised ransom for Mazi Simon Ekpa and put ransom on Mazi Simon Ekpa. He was one of those that made a plan to go to Finland, connive with Finland government, enter into a deal with them, and take Mazi Simon Ekpa away by force. This was somebody who was pretending initially to be part of us. But today, you know, Biafrans are smart. We can see things when they're happening. Today, where is he? He is nowhere to be found. After he did all the nonsense and damages, he went and wanted to contest for governorship. He wants to be a governor. And of course, the Biafrans gave him Biafra treatment. And today, he's just like a tissue paper. Do you hear his name anymore? Do you hear any Biafran making reference to him again? Because Biafrans' eyes are open. We are watching. You can't deceive us with your past glory. Even if you have done something good in the past, we acknowledge, we appreciate you. But once you begin to deviate and do something different from what we know to be the right thing, you are gone, and you are gone for good. And that is how the Biafran people operate. And we continue to operate. Every single one of us as Biafrans, we know what we want. We know where we have been. We know where we are coming from, and we know where we are heading. The only thing we are requesting from Nigerian government is an independent state of Biafra through a referendum, not war. We are not calling for invasion. We are not calling for war. All we are asking is a democratic means of solving issues. A democratic way of settling issues that have been tried in several parts of the world, and it works. Independent through a referendum. That has been the call of our Supreme Leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That was also the call of Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko. And Mazi Simon Ekpa took it further to go ahead and conduct self-referendum in order to prove to the Nigerian government that we are not joking. In order to prove to the world that Biafrans are willing and ready to go. Mazi Simon Ekpa went extra mile to conduct a self-referendum. Brought out the result that if you feel that the result is not what it seems to be, conduct yours and compare. If you feel that what Mazi Simon conducted was not right, you conduct yours, bring it out and let the world see. But what did we see? Instead of Nigerian government going ahead to conduct their own referendum to compare with what Mazi Simon Ekpa have done, with more than 60 million Biafrans voting for exit from Nigeria and having a nation that will be called the United States of Biafra. Biafrans voted immensely, home and abroad, online and offline. There were evidences of voting everywhere. And that mandate was given to the Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko, to go ahead and make the declaration. The mandate was delivered to Biafran government under our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko. He received that mandate from the Biafrans through the self-referendum. And he went ahead and led us to the point where he led us. And when the Zoological Republic saw that Mazi Simon Ekpa is not backing down, their advisors told them that this man is not backing down. They went through their international conspiracy with the British, Finland, and so many world powers came together and they took him away from us. They accused him of terrorism, refused to admit every single evidence from him. They refused to admit the evidence from our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa. They refused to admit evidence from Mazi Simon, which is human rights abuse. What they did to Mazi Simon Ekpa can best be described as human rights abuse. They denied him his right. Mazi Simon Ekpa was denied of his right of fair hearing. Because you can't have a fair hearing when you refuse to entertain the evidence against the accuser. The accusers of Mazi Simon Ekpa was the Nigerian government. They brought so many false information and they used the sacked IPOB DOS. They sacked saboteurs by the Prime Minister were also used to blackmail our Prime Minister, Mazi Nnamdi. They used them to bring false testimonies. They used some Biafrans also to go and testify against our Prime Minister, Mazi Nnamdi, to push lies against him. And today, Mazi Nnamdi is vindicated. What crime has he committed? The only crime Mazi Nnamdi was committed was that he was fighting for self-determination. And you and I know that self-determination is not a crime. Self-determination is approved by international law. Self-determination is approved by African Peoples and Human Rights Law. In Nigerian law, it supports self-determination. But it is because of this same self-determination that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was jailed to life. Mazi Nnamdi sentenced to 6 years. They accused Mazi Nnamdi of instigating violence. How can somebody accuse a Biafran agitator of violence in Nigeria of today? How can you accuse an individual that is trying to protect himself of being responsible for violence in Nigeria of today? With what is happening in Nigeria today, I believe that Finland will be ashamed of themselves. With what Nigeria has become today, those who joined Nigeria to take Mazi Nnamdi Kanu out, to arrest Mazi Nnamdi, will be ashamed of themselves. And because of that, we believe that in the coming days, things are going to be different. August is near, very close by. August is very, very close by. And every one of us is waiting when Mazi Nnamdi is going to appear in court. August 5th, our Prime Minister, Mazi Nnamdi, is going to be in court. And meanwhile, on the 4th, there is going to be a protest in Finland in support of the Prime Minister, Mazi Nnamdi. Wherever you are, make sure you are part of that protest. 4th of August, make sure you are part of that protest. Wherever you are, if you can make it to Finland on the 4th, make sure you are there for the protest. The same way we gathered in Finland for convention, the same way Biafrans gathered in Finland for declaration, that same number is needed to show support and solidarity to our Prime Minister, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We will not allow Finland to do again what they did in their lower court, passing a judgment without entertaining the evidence against the accuser. And no reason was given. Without any reason, they rejected every single evidence that Mazi Nnamdi brought against Nigeria, because this is something that is already planned. It's already planned. That's why I say that for you to take somebody away from the hand of the traitors, the governments, you need to go extra mile by mounting pressure locally and internationally. We require pressure, enormous pressure against the enemies. And that is where the international lawyer comes in. There is need for us to support the international lawyer that is going to stand in for our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko. I have explained this several times, not once, not twice, not thrice. Mazi Simon Ekpa needs an international lawyer for a proper representation. For a proper representation. Not necessarily standing in the court to represent the court, but to put an eye on the issue, mount pressure internationally through their foreign affairs minister of Finland, the United Nations and European Union, then the United States, to create that awareness, to make Finland understand that their interest is on this case and the right of our Prime Minister must be president. We're not asking anybody to show any favor. All we are asking is for the right thing to be done. Respect his rights. Because in the previous court, his rights were abused. That is why it's very important that every one of us should join our hand and support the international lawyer, because the international lawyer is going to join, you'll be going to Finland during the case, August 5th. You'll be in Finland. And for that to happen, and for Mazi Simon Ekpa to have a proper defense, every one of us need to support the move to make sure that the lawyer is there. When you read the flyer that is there, it says, a gentle reminder. Effective today, Monday, June 29, 2026, and continuing through the month of August, there will be a weekly reminder for special donation to support the legal work of Mazi Simon Ekpa, Prime Minister from Republic Government in Exile. The name of the lawyer, international lawyer that is standing in for Mazi Simon Ekpa, is Joseph Smith, Esquire. Is available and willing to be in Finland during the August appeal proceeding. This is the lawyer. The lawyer, Joseph Smith, is available and willing to be in Finland during the August appeal proceedings. Please help make this possible by donating to assist with these additional legal expenses. So you can support the legal expenses of the Prime Minister's lawyer, Mazi Simon Ekpa. He needs the lawyer to represent him, to put pressure internationally, not necessarily standing to defend in the court. And I have explained it several times how this works. The international pressure and the internal pressure. So on this appeal, we are going with both. We go with internal pressure, which comes from us through the protest that will be held on the 4th. Then the international pressure comes from the lawyer, who have already liaised with the Foreign Affairs Minister of Finland, United Nations and the EU and the United States, making sure that Mazi Simon Ekpa is properly represented and his rights respected. If you want to make your donation, you can go to www.biafrarepublicgov.org/support. Click on Contribute to Legal Work directly. You click on Contribute to Legal Work and you make your donation to support our Prime Minister on the coming court case on the 5th. If you want to ask questions regarding what is happening, there is a number for you to call. If you want to make inquiries on the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa, there are numbers to call. For questions regarding the donation website, you can call 919-627-2134. For all other inquiries, you can call 316 plus 316 870 29905. These are numbers you can call. And that's the website where donation can be made. I hope you can see it clearly. So I brought this to show it up so that people can understand what is happening and what needs to be done and where we need to lay our emphasis. One of the most important missions we have today is to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is freed. Mazi Simon also is released. That is the major project before the Biafra people. The freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the freedom of Mazi Simon. That is the game changer. There is no other way to fight for Biafra actualization that is greater than pursuing these two agendas. You and I know that if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was to be outside today, it will be a different ballgame. With the satellite of the United States on Nigeria, on the issue of Christian genocide, it will be a different ballgame. You know that, and I know that. And if Mazi Simon Ekpan was around, you know he cannot overlook this opportunity. Because this is the opportunity he has been looking for a very long time. Mazi Simon Ekpan have prayed for this opportunity, worked for it. But unfortunately, he is not here today when the opportunity presents itself. And those who are supposed to use the opportunity are not using it enough for a reason not best known to them. So that is why it is important we do everything humanly possible to see that our leaders are out. Wherever you are watching from today, I thank you for taking your time to join us whenever you are watching from around the world. I sincerely appreciate every one of you. And we will continue to make impact, no matter how difficult it is. Our discussion today is touching fully on the indigenous people of Biafra, the IPOB. Some of the major debates surrounding the movement in recent years. We will look at leadership, organization, development, the firing point about internal challenges and public rules of prominent figures associated with the movement. Before we begin and continue on this part of the IPOB, the purpose of this live stream is not to encourage hostility towards any individual or group. It is not to promote informed, it is to promote informed discussions based on public available information while distinguishing public verified facts and claims that remain disputed. I have always said it that this platform, we don't come here for propaganda. We say it the way it is. It might not sound good for you. You might not like it. But if you don't like what we are doing and what we say, go back and think again. And know where your problem and your quarrel lies and sort it out. Political movement often involve competing narratives. Throughout today's presentation, I will identify what is generally established that has been alleged by various parties and where opinion differs. I encourage everyone participating in this comment to remain respectful. If you are joining us on this platform or you are commenting, keep your comment clean and remain respectful. Constructive dialogue is always more valuable than personal attack. Recently, the Biafran journey has been of personal attack mostly. People have been preferring going to personal attack, attacking people's personality, lies, propaganda, and blackmails, instead of engaging in constructive dialogue, critical arguments, constructive engagements. There is nothing wrong in making disagreement. You can disagree to agree. And I have always said it that if you have a superior argument, please come forward and present your argument while the Biafrans listen and pay close attention and see what you want to say. IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, is a movement that advocates for restoration of an independent Biafra. IPOB is the family where every one of us that is advocating for the restoration of Biafra started from. That is our family, that is our source. I have said it over and over again. IPOB can never be removed from the picture of restoration of Biafra. That is the family name. That is the family name. You can't change it, you can't remove it. That is where we all belong. If you see IPOB as a threat, that means you have a different agenda. From the video of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that I played here, you heard him talk about the United States of Biafra. You heard Mazi Nnamdi Kanu say that Biafra already has been declared, even while he was with us. And we conducted a vote and we chose to answer United States of Biafra when we get back home in our country. That our country will be called United States of Biafra. Meanwhile, we will continue to remain with our government in exile to continue to fight until we get back home and we recover our land and answer the name that we need to answer, whom we are, the United States of Biafra. That is what we chose to answer. But even as at that, that same name is still subject to change. Tomorrow we can get back home into Biafra land and people will decide to change the name. There will be another referendum. Because when the United States of Biafra was chosen, the cabinet chose it. We were there, we had our voting and all that. And it was chosen. And then it was placed on the self-referendum and people also adopted it. So if by any other means people decide to change it, there will still be another referendum or name to use. Then we can be able to switch to that. But until then, if peradventure we get back home today and our country is recognized, we are going to start in with the United States of Biafra as our names. That does not take away the IPOB, that is our family name. IPOB is not just an organization, as some people make you to believe. It is not. I know why I talk about this on almost all my programs, because this is the narrative that is making people to disobey the directive from the Supreme Leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There is one thing that happened when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was with us. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was here, he made it clear that for every information that comes from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he looks through it and filters it, because human beings are prone to do things considering their own personal and selfish interests. And that is why any messages that come from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will filter it, know those that are very, very crucial for the struggle, and he will implement them without looking back. And those that are crucial, that seems to have some atom of interest of individuals, he will ignore it and go ahead. He doesn't attack Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. he will not talk down on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu presents information based on what information is available to him. So him that is outside also, we feel that and use applying those ones that he needs to apply where necessary. And that is what we should be doing today. What you should do is not attacking the message that is coming. And all you preach is say, oh, it's not from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it's not from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, it's not from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There is no way you can say that the informations are not from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Even though there might be a correlation of some personal agendas, people can decide to reframe his message to cover up their own personal interests. We know that. But that will not make us to talk down on our supreme leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or disagree with information that's coming from him. That is where you apply critical thinking. That is where you apply wisdom. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not going to be inside forever. Mazi Simon Ekpa is not going to be. This is one thing that Mazi Simon could did excellently well while he was with us. Just like as I always told you here, that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was passing information regularly to Mazi Simon Ekpa through the lawyers. And all he has to do is to filter it and know those that are very important and crucial to the struggle and to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and implement it. And those that has correlation of personal interest or does not promote what we are doing, he will ignore. He will not attack Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Never did. But today what we see are people who come out boldly to denounce Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, attack his personality and all whatnot. And some people are doing that out of ignorance. Some people are doing that out of ignorance. That is why you must be very careful who you listen to. You must be very careful who you follow. As for the order of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to us on the issue of Biafra, the only reason anybody can disagree with that is because you have ulterior motive. There is no genuine Biafra that does not know that this sacked DOS has overstayed their welcome. It is long overdue. They are supposed to be gone like yesterday. So if there is no other thing that will make you understand that that message is legitimate for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, from what is happening that you know, I know, a group that even our prime minister have already cast no vote of no confidence on them. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have distanced himself from them for a long time until he made it official. That alone should make you understand that the message is coming from him. Don't take because of people. You know, people are fond of capitalizing on information or using information to push their own personal agenda. That will not make you to disagree with the information or denigrate the information or disobey your leader because of one particular individual. We never forget the role everybody played when we were trying to protect the image of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. While we were joining Mazi Simon Ekpa to make sure that the structure put in place by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not destroyed. Why will we join Mazi Simon Ekpa to be fighting day in, day out to see that the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is protected? We know the role that many people played. We know what they said. But today, I cannot say because of what this person said and what that said, that I will judge the information that is coming because the person is part of the information that is wrong. No. I will take the actual information that has come while I watch closely to see when they play their games. That is where intelligence comes in. You need to be having critical thinking. Like some of them today are complaining of one individual or the other, saying that this person is in charge. Why not you have patience and listen? The most important thing is that the removal of the Department of Saboteurs, the ex-DOS, who are no longer hiding on the attack on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They are now open, coming out in public to attack Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Their removal is more than overdue, long overdue. Their removal is long overdue. And as they have been removed and new establishment is put in place, all you need to do is observe and watch. Give support the best way you can while you watch cricket. Just like my brother Christian used to say, that you don't allow people to gag you or direct you what to do or how to speak or not. You have your own sense to apply to things. When informations come, you look at it, weigh it from both sides and know what is right. It is very easy to see the truth in this our agitation. Only that people, many of us, have a lot of things in our mind. Many of us occupy our mind with so many unnecessary informations, so many grievances, and that makes us not to be able to focus. Just like the issue of these people that have been talking. If we are real followers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Mazi Simon Ekpa, it will not be difficult for us to key in today and let these people go to oblivion. But it's unfortunate that you still see people today who are pretending to be confused. Some people today are still telling you they are not even sure if it was Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that gave the message. Even when they know that the worst is that people who are even under Mazi Simon Ekpa, that you know that Mazi Simon Ekpa himself has been in the front line of speaking about this thing that is going to happen. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will definitely distance himself from these people as soon as he has that chance. And he just did. And you come and you're doubting the fact that it is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that gave the instruction. Simply because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not say, okay, DOS is out, you come and take it. Your name was not mentioned. You discredit it. Whatever happened. And some of them are already pushing propaganda and blackmail. You see, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has become a symbol that you cannot remove. That is why even the people that are fighting him, they can't come out openly. Even while they are